2014, we have noticed that there were a lot of a series of challenges which are interrelated in the region. And these challenges were undermining in a way the socio-economic stability in the region, as well as increasing poverty and hunger. So we realized that the majority of the affected people were in the rural areas, and mainly family farmers, which represent in a way a population that is feeding the region by 80%. In fact, the food production in the region, 80% is coming from the family farmers. So it's a very important typology of farmers that is really sustaining and boosting the economy and the local economies. For this reason, FAO has been requested by the country members in the region to initiate a regional initiative called small-scale family farming. We try to support the countries in different ways. We have major area of work. One is, for instance, to support the government, particularly in sustaining the family farmers in terms of productivity, so to have innovative technology supporting the farmers, and also to have an efficient value chain where also the local economies can benefit from that. And this is happening in several countries already with our technical experts and also in partnership with different other let's say stakeholders in the region. Having said that, also we are looking also from the social components. The social aspect is extremely important, so we don't look anymore only at the productivity, but also the social aspect. Concerning the social aspect, we have to make sure that the livelihood of those people in the community, in the rural areas, in a way they are having a decent conditions for living, and they have the proper services to sustain the community itself. In this respect also, as you can see from this workshop in social protection, we believe that this is one of the aspects that FAO was to look at in terms of agriculture as a sector, but also in terms of rural areas, because unfortunately 70% of the population suffering of poverty are in the rural areas, and the majority of people not benefiting from social protection systems are in the rural areas. Also, we are sustaining the farmers, the producers in general, not only farmers but also fishers, foresters, pastoralists, through having efficient producer associations, organizations and cooperatives that in a way can assist the farmers in a different aspect of the agriculture in their context.
Specifically, I think we're focusing on three key areas where we see FAO having a specific contribution. The first one is around the economic case for scale-up and expansion of social protection programs. We, with our partners, are developing very strong evidence, as very strong analytical base to show that social protection can have impacts not only on social dimensions such as access to education and health, but also on enhancing the economic and productive capacity of the poor and vulnerable. So I think this evidence is very important to show that in addition to generating social impacts such as access to education and health, social protection is also enhancing the economic and productive capacity of the poor, and therefore generating a much more broader perspective around rural and economic development. The other key area is around how to complement existing social protection programs with production and livelihood interventions. How do we maximize the impacts that we already know social protection programs have with complementary agriculture, productive and nutrition interventions? So for example, linking a cash transfer program with a package that provides a package of seeds, a package of agriculture training, as well as entry points to access markets. And in that way, the possible investments that poor families can do with a cash transfer program can be maximized and generate in something not only for subsistence, but hopefully progressively also to generate income for their families and their communities. The other, I think, example could be linking school feeding programs with local procurement. So FAO's role will be to strengthen the capacity of family farmers, local producers to be better able to supply the increase in demand around school feeding. And I think the third area where we see that we have a role and value added is around social protection in humanitarian, fragile and protracted crises. The whole idea and concept around risk-informed, shock-responsive social protection is something that we work very closely with other partners, of course.
FAO works mainly in supporting governments through policy formulation, policy evaluation and monitoring, through investment plans that are inclusive for smallholders or family farmers and inclusive production, but also increasing income of the poorest, and mainly in partnership with other organizations. FAO is not a standalone organization working in poverty reduction. FAO wants to add value to the existing other United Nations agencies and other partners who works in rural areas and in developing arena with the specific niches on building a better linkage cross-sectoral. So when we look at the rural areas, FAO promotes the rural development concept, which goes beyond, which agriculture is part of that, to promote better income through a sectoral activity, but also protecting the most vulnerable who lives in rural areas that may not have assets or means to production, protecting families for risks, shocks like droughts or climate change effects or economic crisis.